Tonight's headlines are brought to you in part by Coldwell Energy and McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Politics and government time should be separated, or so they say. Also tonight, lawyers evaluate the judges up for retention. And one individual is praised for her work in the community. In sports, when it's dark, blow it up. Stay with us, we have these stories and more next here on the Channel 2 News.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the WAMI and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, October 10, 2022. Complaints of government time and property being used for political purposes has reached the Office of the Public Auditor. The Office of the Public Auditor released a letter last week to all CNMI government branches, departments, agencies, public corporations, and autonomous agencies, reminding employees that it is prohibited to use government time and property for political purposes. According to OPA, they have received multiple complaints alleging political fundraiser tickets for candidates are being sold during working hours, and that government computers and cell phones are advertising the fundraising events and to solicit donations. OPA says these complaints are in violation of the Commonwealth Ethics Code Act, and if these activities are substantiated, it constitutes criminal acts, and those in participation are subject to judicial sanctions. Other common unlawful activities include selling lunch plates that benefits a political candidate, selling tickets for political fundraisers, and recruiting volunteers for political campaign activities. OPA says none of these activities should occur in government offices or on government time. OPA asks for employees' assistance in keeping politics out of the government workplace. Any violations may be reported anonymously at OPA's website, www.opacnmi.com, or by telephone at 670-322-3937. In the upcoming November election, voters will decide whether or not to retain 2 Superior Court judges and 1 Supreme Court justice. Over the weekend, the NMI Bar Association released its evaluation for candidates for judicial retention. Justice John Manglonia, Judge Joseph Camacho, and Judge Wesley Bogdan are up for retention, which will be decided by the people in the upcoming general election. 30 lawyers rated their performance by 1 unacceptable, 2 deficient, 3 acceptable, 4 good, and 5 excellent. According to the NMI Bar Association President Charity Hudson, the evaluation was based on experience, integrity, professional competence, judicial temperament, service to the law and contribution to the effective administration of justice, preparation, attentiveness, control over judicial proceedings, judicial management skills, courtesy, public disciplinary sanctions, and quality of judicial opinions. Justice Manglonia received the highest overall average of 4.54, followed by Judge Camacho with 3.39. Judge Bogdan received the lowest overall average of 2.66. However, several lawyers rated don't know or does not apply to several items in his evaluation. There are currently 165 active attorneys in the NMI Bar Association, with 95 on island. The survey period closed a month before the upcoming election. Hudson says these evaluations are intended to provide information to the people of the Commonwealth, which may assist them in making reasoned decisions about whether or not to retain the candidates for judicial office. Every year, when the month of October is proclaimed as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, an individual who strongly advocates for victims and survivors is selected to receive the Bridge of Light Award. Let's take a look at who received this year's award.
2022 Bridge of Light Award goes to Lupi and Lizama Maritita from the Department of Public Safety. Congratulations, Ms. Maritita, on behalf of the coalition, staff, membership, and the CNMI. We thank you for your outstanding leadership and commitment to the mission to end violence in the CNMI.
Lupi Lizama Maritita is a police detective at the CNMI Department of Public Safety who investigates domestic violence cases when an arrest has been made. She conducts interviews with victims, witnesses, and sometimes even the suspect to ensure that justice is served.
Domestic violence is a pattern of behavior that an individual uses to exert power over another person, and I'm here to ask everyone in the room, the community, to change that pattern and to make support and kindness a better pattern to everyone you meet, because we just never know who's experiencing abuse.
As this year's Bridge of Light recipient, she asked community members and especially partnering agencies to amplify the movement in hopes to end domestic violence.
Stay involved and assist me in illustrating how personal and professional courage and community support can make a change at giving survivors a new and fresh start at the hope of a brighter future. The more we spread awareness on the issue, others will be able to better identify abusive behaviors and take active steps to fighting it. Join me today and the years ahead of us in honoring their triumphs over abuse and their willingness to keep trying. We owe it to ourselves. None of us can solve this crisis alone.
Maritita has been working with domestic violence cases for 3 years now, but she says it doesn't get easier.
After about 3 years of facing different domestic and sexual cases, I still shake when making an arrest, and I still walk out the room for a breather when it gets hard and overwhelming. It still isn't easy.
Maritita is not just a police detective, she's also a wife and a mother.
My daughter always questions and whines about how much I'm away from home, and I'm sorry that I work a lot and I'm away for a lot of special moments. But I do what I do for you, so that one day when you're faced with the same challenges, you're able to overcome them and can help someone in making a difference or getting them to help in safety.
Each year, the Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence chooses an individual based on their accomplishments and efforts to end domestic violence and to be a bridge of light for victims and survivors in the CNMI. This year's theme is Amplify the Movement, and throughout the month of October, there will be various activities that helps raise awareness for domestic violence in the CNMI. What do you know about the history and culture here in the CNMI? As many try to keep the traditions alive, one organization would like to bring one back. The 500 Cells is dedicated and motivated to fill the lagoon with hundreds of canoes one day. The 500 Cells program launched their newest addition to their fleet this morning. Annie Moody, who has been on display at the Bank of Saipan, was out in the water where she belongs. And in the true spirit of canoe culture, they were sure to keep old practices and traditions when launching a canoe. Pete Perez, Executive Director of the 500 Cells program.
Part of canoe culture is ceremony and recognizing those important events, like when you build a canoe, when you start to build, when you launch a canoe, when somebody becomes an accomplished sailor or a navigator. There's lots of protocols and cultural ceremonies, chants, things like that. They were part of daily life before, and we think they should be part of life again. You should celebrate those great moments. So we released a canoe into the water today, and we had a chant in Carolinian, we had a chant in Chamorro, and it was attended by people of all kinds of backgrounds, mostly Pacific peoples, but also new Pacific peoples. So that's what we do.
The 500 Cells program teaches swimming, sailing, and even navigation with the help of Carolinian master navigators. Perez says their mission is to revive the canoe culture here in the CNMI.
Because these islands used to be full of canoes. It's a canoe culture that built this society, and for hundreds of years we had no sailing canoes as a result of the colonial period. So we're bringing them back, and all the good things that come with them, which includes exercise and a lot of fun camaraderie. It's fun to build canoes together. It's fun to learn to sail. We can go out and catch fish. We've had some voyages. We've been around Saipan. We've gone to Tinian several times, sailed once to Anatahan. And
anyone interested is encouraged to visit their place over at the Civic Beach to learn more about the water, canoes, and culture.
This is our lifeblood. This is the technology that connects us to the rest of the world and to our peoples. Because although the maps say we're different peoples, it's all Pacific peoples. Okay? Even if you're here, you think you're a visitor, but you came and you're part of our family now to sail, you're our Pacific people too. Thank you.
Coming up, we bring you a story the history books don't tell. Stay tuned.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The trip program with South Korea gains regional attention, and the MVA is awarded. The Marianas Visitors Authority was recognized by the Pacific Asia Travel Association and was given a Gold Award for Global Destination Resilience. According to PATA, at a time during the pandemic when most destinations were closed and flying wasn't exactly the top choice, MVA was proactive in producing a plan to jumpstart tourism. They acknowledged the Tourist Investment Resumption Plan and its partnership with South Korea. PATA addressed the increasing numbers of visitors to the Marianas, the attractive incentives, effective screening of passengers, and the low rate of COVID cases and high rate of vaccinations. MVA Managing Director Priscilla Iacopo.
And I am very thankful for the community because the award that the presentation that we submitted was the Travel Bubble Trip Program. And at the time, there was no playbook considering how COVID impacted our islands, not to mention the entire nation. But through our togetherness, our community was able to control the COVID cases by simply following the 3 W's and getting vaccinated. And so I really would like to thank, a lot of the government agencies, nonprofit organizations, our community, but most especially I really want to thank the MBA staff for their endless contributions in ensuring that the MBA continues to carry forward what our responsibilities and duties are, and that is tourism and ensuring that we bring tourists to our islands, as tourism is the primary economic engine.
It's October, and that means baseball playoffs in the major leagues are underway. Tonight, our Chris Nelson takes us on a baseball road trip to a home in Missouri that pays tributes to legends like Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the park. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. The famous song that many kids learned during the 7th inning stretch watching the home team play baseball. Baseball is America's game, our pastime. Baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie, part of the fabric that make up the United States. It's our island's game, too. Epic battles between local teams, and better yet, regional battles with Palau, Guam, and the Federated States of Micronesia. Josh Jones, Tony Benavente, Greg Camacho, Mel Sakisat, all in the history book written in detail by local Hall of Famer and baseball lover Bob Coldine. Baseball is filled with facts and figures and history, and the best players are recognized here in Cooperstown, New York, at the Baseball Hall of Fame. MLB now has the best players in the world joining stateside. Players from Japan, Korea, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and this year the first Palauan. But it wasn't always this way, because baseball history, just like America's history, is complicated. And for many years, some of the best players weren't allowed to play at the highest levels of baseball. It was known as the color barrier, and it lasted until 1947 and beyond for some teams. Many of those players affected by the color barrier recognized here in Kansas City, Missouri, at the Negro League Baseball Museum. The Negro Leagues were one of the biggest black businesses in the country. It stretched from New York to Florida, west to Milwaukee, and south to Houston. At the entrance of the museum, James Earl Jones narrates a history of the league.
And while we didn't have digital president Carter, he did set the back. And so anytime that you get 4 U.S. presidents.
Buck O'Neil was one of the big-time players. He played the majority of his career for the Kansas City Monarchs and was the first African-American coach in Major League Baseball, and he also worked as a scout. This is Buck in 2006, shortly before his death.
We always spring train in a black college town, and that's who we played in spring training, the black colleges. So when school was out, they came play baseball. When baseball season was over, they'd go back to teaching, the coaching, or the classes. That was Negro League baseball. And I'm proud to have been a Negro League ball player. Yeah. And I tell you what, they always say to me, Buck, I know you hate people for what they did to you or what they did to your folks. I said, no, man, I never learned to hate.
Inside the museum, Satchel Paige's Commandments for Living the Good Life. Most black teams didn't own their own baseball parks. They rented, and in some cases were not allowed to use the white-only locker rooms, which means they had to dress before coming and not shower after the games. The museum chronologically charts the progress of the Negro Leagues. The walls are lined with pictures, players, officials, and owners of the league, which was in existence from 1920 to about 1962. As you move through the exhibit, you move forward in time through the history of black baseball, and you can see game-worn uniforms, cleats, gloves, and other artifacts from stars like Josh Gibson, who was known as the Black Babe Ruth, a man who is said to have hit close to 800 home runs and once hit a ball 580 feet in Yankee Stadium. Between 1947 and 1959, the color barrier came down. Close to 120 African-American and Afro-Latino players joined Major League Baseball teams. These are the barrier breaker players, and they are featured here on this wall. The last part of the museum, the Field of Legends. One can walk onto a field adorned by nearly life-sized bronze statues of 12 figures from Negro League history. Crouching behind the plate, Josh Gibson. At first base, a teammate of Gibson's, Buck Leonard. In the outfield, Cool Papa Bell, Oscar Charleston, and Leon Day. On the mound, perhaps the most famous Negro Leaguer of all time, Satchel Paige, who became a rookie in the major leagues at age 42 in 1948. At the plate, Martin Dihigo, the only man to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 3 countries, Mexico, Cuba, and the United States. Buck O'Neil was inducted into Cooperstown this year as a baseball executive, and his words from 2006 have more meaning than ever.
I want you to do something for me. I want you to hold hands. Whoever's next to you, hold a hand. Come on, you Hall of Famers. Hold hands. All you people out there, hold hands. Everybody hooked up? Everybody hooked up. Well, and I tell you what. See, I know my brothers up here, my brothers over there. I see some black brothers of mine and sisters out there. I know they can sing. Can you white folks sing? I want you to sing after me. The greatest thing. Come on, everybody. The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you.
Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have more sports up next.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
'Running in a competition is sometimes just too plain and straight to the point, and that's why fun runs were invented. CNMI runners join another great and glowing event. A 130 runners participated in the Saipan Paddling Club's third annual 5K run on Wednesday night at the Garapan Fishing Base. This year's event is the Glow Edition, wherein runners were given glow bracelets and bands as they ran south from the Garapan Fishing Base to the Old Japanese Tank and back. This is a fundraiser event to help SPC paddlers to fly out to the 22nd Micronesia Cup outrigger races in Palau this month. SPC President and Head Coach Justin Andrew tells us more about this annual event.
This is our annual 5K fun run event, and for this year we wanted to do a special edition like the glow run. So we want to wait for the sun to get down and then we get the glows going. And we just want everybody to come out. This is our third annual run. So we want first and foremost we want to promote healthy living, and not just in the paddling in the water, but we want folks to come out and do this type of activity who don't paddle. And we also want to take the opportunity to raise some funds to bring the juniors and the youth paddlers to Palau this year.
Andrew says he is very pleased with the turnout of this fun run event.
So it's really good turnout, and way much bigger than what we had anticipated. So we're excited and nervous at the same time because we're running at nighttime and there will be a lot of people running. So we would just want to make sure everybody has a good time and be safe.
This is the first time that SPC timed this run event with the help of Run Saipan President Edward De La Cruz.
Okay, we're going to start soon. As soon as I see the orange go out, we're going to go and hit it hard. Okay, so stand by for the run. For people that do not have race bibs, if you do not have race bibs and you cross this finish line, you find me. You come straight to me if you want an accurate race time.
Silgi Velorio topped the men's division by crossing the finish line in 20 minutes and 39 seconds. Michael Mancow came second with a time of 21 minutes and 32 seconds. 3 seconds behind Mancow is Shigeki Tenorio for the third place. Meanwhile, Tara Allen ruled the women's division with a time of 26 minutes and 28 seconds. Second place is Marisa Blanchot, who is only 1 second behind Allen. Anne Bang, third place at 26 minutes and 42 seconds. In the U18 boys division, Pony Tang finished the race in 20 minutes and 20 seconds for first place. Second place is Rex Pixley with a time of 20 minutes and 50 seconds. Jermaine Salas finished third place. His time, 22 minutes and 11 seconds. Miyumi Takahashi ruled the U18 girls with a time of 47 minutes and 43 seconds. Keone Razala dominated the U12 boys division. Second place is Declan Spaeth and Caleb Grant for third place. Adele Taft-Linger topped the U12 girls division, followed by Faith Ariola, and third place, Leilani Razala.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to show you a Bulgarian split squat, a fantastic lower body exercise that should be a main staple in your training. Now the first thing we want to address is the rear foot placement. Now whether it's toes on or toes off, just find what's comfortable for you. The bigger issue we want to tackle is the height of the box or bench. You see, when you set up on a box or a bench that's too high, that inherently puts an aggressive stretch on the front of your hip. Oftentimes, that sensation will take away from the working leg, the leg that's on the floor. And when you start to add load in this faulty position, you're bound to run into some problems, particularly if you got some mobility restrictions. So Jamila's gonna set up, she's gonna descend with control, and from there just stand tall.
And for the KSPN weather report, heavy rainfall possible this week. A developing monsoon through and moderate surge combined with a weak tropical disturbance is likely to bring locally heavy rains to the Marianas this week. Tonight, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms. East-southeast wind 5 to 9 miles per hour. High 86, low 77. The humidity 79%. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered showers, light and variable wind becoming south 5 to 10 miles per hour. High 85, low 77. The marine forecast, moderate monsoonal winds, occasionally strong at times, are expected the next few days. Combined seas of 4 to 5 feet will increase by a foot or two as winds strengthen through midweek. East wind 10 to 15 knots, wind waves 2 to 3 feet, east swell 3 to 4 feet. The sunrise 6:07 a.m., high tide 7:48 p.m., low tide 2:02 p.m., and the sunset is at 6 straight p.m. All right, folks, there you have it. That is your Monday edition of the news, sports, and weather here in the Marianas. We thank you so much for watching the Channel 2 News. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.